they're parked on the sidewalk?
No, they're not.
It's illegal?
We've had this conversation at least a half dozen times now. They're parked in the driveway.
So you didn't go to the police academy then, right?
Oh, I did.
And you must have not known about the Michigan state laws then? And then also...
No, I don't research them to the extent you have. What I'm telling you is that is a driveway.
And that it is also...
100% passable.
And that it is also in city ordinance as well?
If you disagree with my decision, you're welcome to take it to the chief, city council, whatever the case may be.
I'm done with your police department. All your police, you guys are corrupt.
But you keep calling us.
It's the only place you're going to come. Until we get an internal affairs for Genesee County, you guys are going to operate how you want.
I'm not writing somebody a ticket for parking legally in the driveway. It's not happening.
It's on the sidewalk.
No, it's not.
That's weird. You go into Richville, you don't see a single car parked on the sidewalk because they're enforcing the law.
So live there. I don't know what to tell you. I've said this in as many languages as I can speak. I've always been polite, courteous, everything else. I try to explain to the best of my ability, and you guys just do not seem to get it.
We do understand Michigan state law.
Feel free.
And also, if it should be taken out of city ordinance as well.
You got to take that up to the council. I have no control over that.
Council doesn't even listen. We're done with city council members. We're done with working with the city. They don't work with us.
I don't know what to tell you then.
Yeah, because that's completely taking the sidewalk up.
No, it's completely parked in the driveway. There's more than passable.
Shouldn't have to go off the sidewalk. Yeah.
Yet there's another passable sidewalk directly in front of your house. If you prefer, I can charge you both for harassing all the neighbors all the time, because that's what you do.
Harassing for helping out and enforcing the law?
You're not helping out.
Why is it when we spoke to chief?
As polite and professional as I can make it, you're a nuisance.
Why is it
several
the
times
chief?
a week, harassing your neighbors for doing nothing illegal. We've had this conversation several times.
It's a civil infraction.
No, it's not. He's parked in his driveway.
It's the sidewalk.
He's parked in his driveway.
It's a civil infraction.
Then write him a ticket.
Hey,
see if it flies.
If I didn't have the brain damage I have, I actually would be a state police officer.
I hear that a lot.
And if I didn't pass the mental test, I'd be a cop too. I took it when I lived in Roseville.
Well, since that's the case, you got to deal with me. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not writing somebody a ticket for parking in their driveway when you have several options available to get around other than parking and passing directly in front of that house.
Public sidewalk. So that means we can walk
Which is passable, as she just proved.
We can walk on main roads, right in the middle of traffic. We can walk out in the middle of the street.
Spring's coming.
Because vehicles have vehicles have the road right here they can actually park on. If they can't be in a sidewalk and not be on the sidewalk.
Until you call for that, correct?
They can park in the street.
Until you call for that.
They're parked on the sidewalk.
The Michigan state law and ordinance code.
I don't see a sidewalk in the street.
I have news for you. There's a lot of laws in a lot of places around this country that were probably ill passed when they were passed. There's a reason that there's also ways around these laws. And contingencies. There's a reason there's two sidewalks on this road. If one's impassable and you find it to be a hazard, pass on the other one.
Okay, well, that one stopped and that one stopped.
That's the only complete one that goes the furthest.
You just showed that you're able to clearly walk across the road with no issue.
No, not really. Because he walked across and bitch from 350, yeah, her name's bitch, nickname. She almost hit him when he was looking both ways crossing the street. Because the way they speed down the street.
Well, I wasn't here to see that.
So you're saying I'm forced to have to walk out in the middle of the street if a car's going by? And I have to wait
twice without a hazard.
I have to wait for vehicles if they are.
I have to shift my hip.
You just walk it. You'd have to shift your hip to turn anyway.
No.
Yes.
Not like that.
Why is it the chief is the only one saying he's the only officer enforcing the law?
He's a code enforcement guy. That's what he does. He's talking about code enforcement.
It's also with state law when we brought it up with him. He said yes, state law trumps city ordinance, and I'm only one officer and I can only do so much.
So he's talking about code enforcement.
I mentioned state law.
Yeah.
Not code.
But
he said ordinance, and I said it's state law, and he said state trumps city ordinance. So that means you're not following state law.
Here's the other thing. You may not be familiar with government. City and local law, state law can be less restrictive than federal law. As it moves downward, we're allowed to be less constrictive about laws. That's why marijuana on a local level is able to be legal, and on a federal level it is not.
That's a drug. That's not pedestrian walkway.
It's the same concept.
It's,
You're missing the point.
that's
You're
just
out here nitpicking every one of your neighbors for the littlest things you can because you have nothing better to do than irritate everybody else.
yeah, and your officers not arresting the kid that lives there
For what?
for being at the end of my driveway that threatened to beat my face in, and the chief saying the video is horrible, and us being witnesses does not matter. We brought it up with district leaders, well, one district leader so far.
So you brought it up,
And-
it was reviewed, is what you're telling me,
and
it was seen that there was nothing
probable
about the arrest.
I told her is, so if there's 5 witnesses, they witnessed one person getting murdered, it does not matter for those 5 witnesses because there's no video evidence. That's
not
what
the case.
you guys' police station is doing.
No, it's not.
That's exactly what
We're
it is.
talking a complete different thing between parking violations, legally parking a driveway, and homicide. Different thing.
That's just like you mentioned.
It's the same thing. 'Cause
It's not the same.
If their driveway was icy and I had to be
But it's
forced
not.
to walk around,
But it's not, and you're not forced.
Like it
You're not
was
forced to walk
last
anywhere you don't
year?
want to walk.
I had to be forced to walk in the street.
You're not forced to walk anywhere you don't want to walk. There's sidewalks right here.
It's not a sidewalk. It's a sidewalk. You have to walk down it.
There
Where
is
there's
nothing
no
forcing
cop.
you to walk directly in front
If
of that
there
house.
is a car blocking the sidewalk, I
It's not
can't
blocking
walk
the sidewalk.
down
You
the
just walked
sidewalk.
around it twice.
I had to walk around a car blocking a sidewalk.
I'm not going to stand here and repeat myself over and over again.
Yeah,
I'm not
you're
writing
just-
a ticket.
you're just repeating
If you
yourself.
have an issue, come in tomorrow morning, talk to the chief. If he finds that my judgment
We
was delayed,
can't, 'cause
he
every
can
time
he
he
can order me
sees
to write a
us, he
ticket, and I'd be
leaves.
happy to. But
Just
until
like-
that time,
And
until that time, I'm not
about
writing
that, about you're saying about the people parking on the sidewalk. Well, in 2018, we went around and got a bunch of people parked on the sidewalk, sent them video evidence
parked like that.
They're
completely over the sidewalk
Yeah.
and on the sidewalk.
way over.
Put in the
Even-
driveway. Put in the driveway, correct?
Instead of giving a ticket, he comes and threatens to arrest us both if we report one more person breaking the city ordinance and also state law.
Should have been a clue.
No.
Have a good night, guys.
It's just because the city isn't enforcing the law.
No.
Because they're legally parked.
And we're being mistreated because we don't believe in fairy tale stuff.